Welcome to the Explainer. We're taking a trip back in time today. Back to an era way before social media and data mining ruined all the fun. Back when gaming secrets spread like wildfire through whispered conversations at school, blurry magazine screenshots, and those wild pre-internet rumors. We are counting down the top 10 urban legends in video games, looking at the clever hoaxes, the playground myths, and yeah, occasionally, the genuine secrets that took the whole gaming world by storm.
Okay, let's dive into this, because, come on, we all knew that one kid. The kid whose uncle or cousin supposedly worked at Nintendo, right? The guy who had the total inside scoop on how to unlock impossible characters or secret levels. Man, those stories were the absolute lifeblood of early gaming communities. So, we're going to methodically break down the 10 greatest legends these whispers birthed, starting right at number 10.
Coming in hot at number 10.
We're traveling back to 1998, specifically on the Nintendo 64. It was a time when early 3D worlds felt endlessly massive, and they were surely holding secrets we just hadn't found yet. I'm talking about the legendary Triforce in The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. Players genuinely, wholeheartedly believed this iconic artifact could be collected in-game. Thousands of people wasted countless hours thanks to elaborate internet guides, grainy screenshots, and totally fake walkthroughs. They were bombing random walls, replaying dungeons endlessly, just looking for impossible puzzles and hidden temples. But the reality? Well, while the Triforce is obviously central to the story, it was completely unobtainable. It remains absolutely legendary, though, because it's arguably the longest-running Nintendo rumor ever created.
Moving right along, we drop down to number 9.
Now, this one brilliantly illustrates the blur between conspiracy theory and video game history. The legend states that back in 1981, a mysterious arcade cabinet named Polybius just seemingly appeared out of nowhere in Portland, Oregon. Players who tried it supposedly experienced nightmares, hallucinations, memory loss, and severe addiction. Meanwhile, shadowy government agents were rumored to regularly visit these exact cabinets just to collect data. The catch? Absolutely no verified machine has ever been found. So whether it was an early internet creepypasta, a massive misunderstanding, or just a jumbled mix of real arcade stories, Polybius has truly become gaming's equivalent of Bigfoot.
And that brings us to number 8.
We're jumping to a Game Boy myth that almost every single Pokemon fan tried at least once. I am talking about the famous Pokemon truck. Players noticed this completely lonely, totally out-of-place truck sitting near the SSN in Pokemon Red and Blue, and the rumor mill just exploded. Kids traded incredibly complicated instructions to find it. You supposedly had to avoid the SSN forever, progress through the entire game to get the strength ability, return, maybe faint at exactly the right time, and then push the truck to reveal the mythical Pokemon Mew. Well, the truck was a total bust. It was completely harmless. However, what keeps this legend alive is that other completely unrelated programming glitches eventually did actually let players legitimately catch Mew.
Dropping in at number 7. Shifting our focus to a slightly more modern rumor from 2011 on the PC, this proves that a community-created fan ghost can actually become infinitely more recognizable than official characters. Minecraft players started posting these really chilling images of a character they named Herobrine. He looked exactly like the default player model, but with terrifying blank white eyes. He supposedly watched silently from deep in the forests, built strange structures, stalked players, and then just vanished before anyone could get close. Here's the thing, Herobrine was entirely community-created. He never existed in the game's code. Yet, he became so unbelievably famous and iconic that the developers actually embraced the joke, famously adding removed Herobrine to practically every official Minecraft patch note since.
Bringing up number 6.
Here we have an urban legend that proves, sometimes, the absolutely impossible really does exist. Unlike the others we've covered, missing No in Pokemon Red and Blue was absolutely real. By following a really bizarre, specific sequence involving Viridian City and Cinnabar Island, players would encounter a scrambled, graphical nightmare of a Pokemon. Because it looked so broken and honestly terrifying, it birthed a massive schoolyard myth that it would permanently destroy your save files. So, the crucial point is, in reality, your save usually survived completely fine, and it actually simply duplicated the 6th item in your inventory. It perfectly merged a genuine, useful glitch with a legendary, terrifying myth.
Section bonus level. Honorable mentions. Alright, before we hit our top 5, we're pausing the countdown for a rapid-fire bonus level. Let's just speed through some amazing legends that didn't quite make the top spots, but absolutely deserve some recognition. Let's fire through these. First up, Diablo's Secret Cow level from 1996. Players joke that clicking cows unlocked a hidden level. Blizzard completely denied it at first, but then they actually made it real in Diablo 2. Next, Super Mario 64's rumor that Yoshi was chilling on the castle roof. Turns out, this was totally true. Getting all 120 stars rewarded you with a Yoshi meeting. Then we have Mew 3. Despite tons of fake magazines and endless fan art, this Pokémon clone never officially existed. Over in Street Fighter 2, an April Fool's magazine article invented Ryu's masters Shenlong. It became so incredibly popular that Capcom literally created Akuma and Gouken based directly on the myth. Finally, Super Mario Bros. Minus World in 1985. A real, legendary programming bug that trapped players in an unbelievable, endless underwater stage, literally labeled World -1.
Resuming our countdown at number 5.
This one really proves how one tiny, blurry texture can launch literally decades of intense speculation. In Super Mario 64, right outside Peach's castle, sits a fountain with a super blurry plaque. Players convinced themselves it read the exact phrase, "L is real 2401, sparking massive theories that Luigi was secretly hidden in the game. People spent years searching every level, counting coins, and inventing completely impossible challenges just trying to unlock the Green Brother. The unbelievable twist? Over 20 years later, unused development files leaked online, revealing that Luigi actually had been planned and modeled during production before being cut. It's crazy.
Moving down to number 4.
Okay, here things take a very dark turn. We're looking at a 2011 PC fan game that transformed gaming's fastest, happiest mascot into pure nightmare fuel. Sonic.exe is arguably the definitive gaming creepypasta. The legend begins with a story of a haunted CD containing a corrupted version of Sonic the Hedgehog. We are talking blood-red eyes, incredibly disturbing imagery, and unsettling, impossible events just taking over the screen. Now let's be totally clear, this was completely fictional, but the atmosphere it created was so profoundly creepy that it inspired massive fan games, mods, animations, and garnered millions of views on YouTube, successfully turning Sonic into one of gaming's most famous horror icons.
We have officially reached number 3.
This spot goes to a myth where entire massive communities spent literal years hunting something that flat out did not exist. The Bigfoot of Grand Theft Auto, San Andreas. Back in 2004, players exploring the vast, foggy forests of the game started reporting seeing a giant, hairy figure watching them from the trees. And the sheer volume of effort here was staggering. Forums were completely flooded with fake photographs, heavily edited videos, and these elaborate tracking guides. Eventually, Rockstar developers had to step in and confirm Bigfoot was never in the original game. But the irony is just fantastic, right? The rumor was so persistent and so beloved that Rockstar actually bowed to the legend and included Bigfoot references in their later titles anyway.
Highlighting our number 2 spot.
This one perfectly proves that back in 1996, playground rumors could travel worldwide way faster than the internet itself. The infamous Tomb Raider Nude Code was arguably the most famous gaming myth of the entire 1990s. Magazines received mountains of letters, and fake cheat books happily invented increasingly ridiculous complicated button combinations that supposedly removed Lara Croft's clothing. I mean, it was absolutely everywhere. The absurdity reached such a peak that the developer, Core Design, actually included a fake code internally. If you tried a specific sequence, it didn't remove anything. It simply caused Lara to immediately explode. No legitimate nude code ever existed, obviously, but it was an absolute global phenomenon.
Let's move to and see how this builds, as we finally hit number 1. We have reached the ultimate urban legend, a myth entirely unmatched in the sheer volume of horror stories, videos, and articles it inspired: Lavender Town Syndrome. Emerging from the Japanese release of Pokémon Red and Green back in 1996, the legend claims that the uniquely eerie music in the Lavender Town level actually contained a hidden high-frequency tone. Supposedly, this tone can only be heard by young players, and it caused severe headaches, anxiety, nightmares, and even drove children to madness. Now, let's be completely clear. There is absolutely no evidence these events ever occurred. But the haunting combination of ghost Pokémon and deeply unsettling music made this completely unproven myth gaming's most famous creepypasta. Millions of players, even to this day, still hear those haunting chiptune notes and just remember the dread immediately. It's genuinely fascinating how these legends lived on, isn't it? Evolving purely through word of mouth long before social media platforms existed to instantly debunk them. They brought a real sense of mystery and magic to the games we loved. So I'm going to leave you with this to consider. With massive, constantly updating live service games and sprawling virtual worlds today,
What secrets are currently evolving in modern gaming communities? What myths are being born right now in the games you play every single day? Thanks for joining me on this explainer. Keep exploring, and I'll catch you on the next one.